Hi students, this is R.K. Sir, lecturer in chemistry from Sri Guru College, which is a prestigious institution in our entire Kalyan Karnataka region. Today I am going to start a physical chemistry topic, that is electrochemistry. According to our PUC board, to this electrochemistry total 9 hours and 8 marks are allotted. As you know that our PUC board question paper, particularly chemistry question paper, if you observe, each question is related to a particular lesson. As far as our electrochemistry is concerned, question number 3 as well as question number 12 as well as question number 29 are related to electrochemistry. In that, question number 3 is 1 mark, question number 12 is 2 marks and question number 29 is 5 marks. And of course, there is no any direct 5 marks question in the chemistry. That's why this 5 marks has divided as 2 marks and 3 marks, like A and B type. Next, before we are going to start electrochemistry topic, first we will discuss some basics. Already we have learned in first year PUC from a redox reactions lesson. In that we learn only what is oxidation, what is reduction, what is oxidizing agent as well as what is a reducing agent, and finally what is a redox reaction. That's all. Now we'll start. First, what is oxidation? Of course, oxidation is having many definitions. Here I am using a modern definition. For that purpose, we will take a suitable example, that is sodium converted as sodium ion. Here, sodium right now it is in elemental state, oxidation number is 0, and after completion of the reaction, sodium has converted as +1, 0 converted to +1, nothing but increase in oxidation state. Simultaneously, sodium from its valence shell, it is losing 1 electron. That's why, according to modern definition, increase in oxidation state or loss of electron is called as oxidation process. Increase in oxidation state or loss of electron is called as oxidation process. We can take a number of examples, and I am taking here second example, say Zn, zinc, converted to Zn plus 2 electrons. Same phenomena is taking place here. Zinc right now it is in elemental state, and after completion of the reaction, zinc has converted to +2 oxidation state. Means oxidation state has increased. Means increase in oxidation state or a loss of electron is called as oxidation process. Now we'll go to reduction. Reduction is just opposite to the oxidation. Here increase in oxidation state, here a decrease in oxidation state, here a loss of electron, here gain of electrons. We'll take again suitable example, say Cu plus 2 by taking 2 electrons converted as copper. Copper right now in +2 oxidation state, after completion of the reaction it is Cu, it is just elemental state, oxidation state is 0. Again +2 has converted to 0, nothing but decrease in oxidation state. And here 2 electrons are taken by Cu plus 2, nothing but gain of electrons. Here loss of electron, here gain of electrons. Next we'll take another example like Cl2 by taking 2 electrons converted as 2Cl minus. Here chlorine, it is in molecular state, oxidation state is 0. By taking 2 electrons converted as Cl minus, means 0 converted to -1, nothing but decrease in oxidation state. Here increase in oxidation state, here a decrease in oxidation state. Here a loss of electron, here the gain of electron. That's all. Next, after completion of oxidation and reduction, we will go into oxidizing agent as well as reducing agent. But before that, to remember this oxidation as well as the reduction, I will give you one simple trick, that is OIL, oil, RIG, rig. What is oil? What is rig? Very simple. Oxidation is loss of electron. Reduction is gain of electron. That's it. Right. Now we'll go to oxidizing agent as well as a reducing agent. And it is also called as oxidant. Of course, but not an accident, it is oxidant. Okay, simultaneously I'll write here reducing agent also, or reductant. Right. Very simple. Oxidizing agent, reducing agent. Oxidizing agent oxidizes others. Oxidizing agent oxidizes others, or oxidizing agent itself undergoes reduction. Similarly, reducing agent reduces others, or reducing agent itself undergoes oxidation. That's it. For this purpose, we will take a suitable example, that is Zn plus Cu plus 2 converted to Zn plus 2 plus Cu. Here zinc right now it is in elemental state. Zero oxidation number has converted to plus 2. Nothing but increase in oxidation state, oxidation process. And Cu plus 2 converted to Cu elemental state, again decrease in oxidation state is nothing but reduction. Now we will identify what is oxidizing agent and what is reducing agent. We'll just recall once again what is oxidizing agent. Means oxidizing agent always oxidizes others. See here, reducing agent always reduces others. See here, zinc, as far as zinc is concerned, zinc is reducing others. Zinc is reducing others, and zinc itself undergoing oxidation. Zinc itself undergoing oxidation, that's why it is a reducing agent, because reducing agent always itself undergoes oxidation, or reducing agent reduces others. Next, Cu plus 2. Cu plus 2 oxidizing others. Cu plus 2 is oxidizing others and itself undergoing reduction, that's why Cu plus 2 is called as oxidizing agent. Once again, oxidizing agent is oxidizing others, and a reducing agent is reducing others, or reducing agent itself undergoing oxidation, oxidizing agent itself undergoing reduction. Next we will go to a redox reaction. A redox reaction. And if you want, you can take another example also for this oxidizing and reducing. Say for example Zn plus 2HCl converted as ZnCl2 plus H2. Here also zinc right now it is in elemental state 0. Here Zn plus 2 state. Zinc oxidation number has increased. Of course it is oxidation process. In HCl hydrogen oxidation number is plus 1. And here hydrogen molecular state it is 0. Plus 1 has converted to 0. It is a reduction process. Now what is oxidizing agent? What is reducing agent? Means zinc. Zinc is itself undergoing oxidation, that's why it is again reducing agent only. In HCl, H plus itself undergoing reduction, that's why it is an oxidizing agent. Okay, now we'll see what is a redox reaction. Of course, both these examples are redox reactions only. How to define redox reaction? The name itself indicating redox, red for reduction, ox for oxidation, means a reaction which includes both oxidation as well as the reduction reactions are called as redox reactions. Or a reaction which includes both oxidation and reduction reactions takes place simultaneously is called as a redox reaction. Now we can take both redox reactions only. Why we have to learn redox reaction here means these concepts will be used in our present electrochemistry topic. Right, now we'll start the actual topic, that is electrochemistry. Right. First we will see its definition. Very simple. Electrochemistry is a branch of physical chemistry which deals with the conversion of chemical energy to electrical energy as well as electrical energy into chemical energy. That's it. Electrochemistry is a branch of physical chemistry which deals with the conversion of chemical energy into electrical energy as well as electrical energy into chemical energy. In electrochemistry lesson, we have to learn mainly two types of cells. That is, first one is electrochemical cell, and second type cell is electrolytic cell. Electrolytic cell, right? Electrolytic cell. Then in electrochemical cell, what happens? Very simple. In electrochemical cell, chemical energy will be converted into electrical energy. In electrolytic cell, what happens? Reverse. Electrical energy is converted into chemical energy. That's all. First, we will discuss about electrochemical cell. Later, we will discuss about electrolytic cell. Right. First one is electrochemical cell. This electrochemical cell is also called as galvanic cell. Galvanic cell, or it is also called as voltaic cell. Electrochemical cell is also called as galvanic cell as well as voltaic cell. First, we will see its exact definition. How to define an electrochemical cell? Very simple. A cell or a device in which chemical energy is converted into electrical energy is called as electrochemical cell. That's it. A device in which chemical energy is converted into electrical energy is called as that is electrochemical cell, or nothing but galvanic cell. And of course, this conversion is 100%. It is a spontaneous process. It is a spontaneous reaction. It is. Reaction takes place automatically. There is no any external force involved here. Right. Now, here the best example of this electrochemical cell or galvanic cell or voltaic cell is Daniell cell. Daniell cell. Now, here we will discuss about the construction and working of this Daniell cell now. Construction as well as working of Daniell cell we will discuss now. For that purpose, we have to take a rough diagram of this Daniell cell. Here, this Daniell cell includes two half cells like this. It is one half cell, it is one half cell, nothing but it is one compartment, it is another compartment. In the first compartment, then I have filled with 1 molar zinc sulfate solution. In the second compartment, in the second half cell, we have to fill with 1 molar copper sulfate solution. Next, in zinc sulfate solution, we have to dip zinc rod. In copper sulfate solution, we have to dip copper rod. It is a zinc rod or zinc electrode. It is a copper rod, nothing but copper electrode. Now, we'll see its meaning also. Right. Now, both electrodes, both half cells, both electrodes are connected through the wire via voltmeter like this. It is an voltmeter. Next, here both half cells also connected internally with an equipment that is called as salt bridge. What is salt bridge and what is its role, we will discuss later. Right. First, in Daniell cell, of course, this Daniell cell is also called as zinc copper cell, because in the Daniell cell we have to use only zinc and copper, that's it. And that too, zinc we have to take left side, and copper we have to take right side. Okay, here overall what happens in the Daniell cell? We'll just see here. When zinc and copper compare to each other, zinc is highly reactive. Zinc is highly reactive comparing with the copper. Because of that reason, our zinc undergoing oxidation first, like this. Zinc rod is undergoing oxidation. Oxidation means, just now we have learned oxidation is nothing but increase in oxidation state or loss of electron. Zinc by losing 2 electrons converted into Zn+2. Means whatever the zinc rod is there, this zinc rod is undergoing oxidation and converted to Zn+2. It is taking place in the first half cell. Come here. In the second half cell, what happens? Now, this zinc rod after oxidation, it is losing electrons or not? Those electrons will travel through the wire. Those electrons will travel through the external wire, and those electrons will reach into the second half cell. In second half cell, what happens? In second half cell, what happens? Let's see then. In second half cell, we have taken a copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate solution means, already you know that it is having a copper ions, Cu plus 2 ions are there. And whatever the electrons are coming from the first half cell, those electrons will be captured by Cu plus 2 ions. Cu plus 2 ions are capturing those electrons and converted as copper. That is called as a reduction process. Cu plus 2, by taking the electrons which are coming from the zinc rod, those electrons are taken by Cu plus 2 ions of this electrolyte and converted as copper. Therefore here plus 2 oxidation state is converted to 0, nothing but decrease in oxidation state is of course reduction process. Here oxidation, it is reduction. Means in the first half cell oxidation is taking place, in the second half cell reduction process is taking place. Because of oxidation and reduction process only, electrons are traveling through the external wire. Actually, what is current? Current is nothing but flow of electrons. Here electrons are flowing. Because of that reason, in the voltmeter we can observe some deflections. Nothing but here current is producing. If you arrange any bulb, it will glow. Means current is producing. And already known to you, electrons movement as well as current direction both are opposite. That means here electrons are traveling from zinc to copper. Of course, current will travel from copper to zinc. Right. Now here oxidation is taking place, here reduction is taking place. Now here whatever the Cu plus 2 ions are present here, those Cu plus 2 ions by capturing electrons converted as copper, then where that copper is going and depositing? That copper is going and depositing on the copper rod only. I have shown like this. It is nothing but Cu plus 2 ions are going and depositing on the copper plate only. Means here copper weight increases. Because copper is going and Cu plus 2 ions are converted as copper, and that copper has deposited on the copper plate only. Because of that reason, its weight has increases. Come here. Zinc rod. Zinc rod is undergoing oxidation. When the zinc is converted to Zn+2, of course it is a solid, it is just a solution. It is a solid, it is a liquid. Means here metal is melting. Here zinc is melting. That because of that reason, its weight what happens? It decreases. Zinc rod weight decreases because metal is melting. Zn converted to Zn+2. That's why in the first half cell zinc rod weight decreases. In the second half cell copper rod weight has increased. Right. Next, here oxidation is taking place. That's why this zinc rod we'll call it as anode. Here reduction is taking place. That's why this copper rod we'll call it as cathode. Up to here there is no any problem. Next, in electrolytic cell, if you see, there anode will be designated with the plus sign and cathode will be designated with the minus sign. Where in electrolytic cell. Now it is electrochemical cell. In this electrochemical cell, I am designating here anode with a minus sign and cathode with a plus sign. Here sign is completely different. Here why anode we are showing with minus sign and why cathode we are showing with plus sign is the question mark. Very simple. See here, zinc rod. Zinc rod is undergoing oxidation. means zinc converted to Zn plus 2, it is losing 2 electrons. Those 2 electrons will be accumulated on the zinc rod only initially. Those electrons will be accumulated on the zinc rod only. Of course, electron is negatively charged particles. That's why we are showing anode with minus sign because of accumulation of electrons only. That's it. Come here. Here, cathode we are showing a positive sign. Why cathode we are showing positive sign? Here also very simple logic. That is, Cu plus 2 ions are capturing electrons. Cu plus 2 ions are capturing electrons from copper rod. Cu plus 2 ions are capturing electrons from this copper rod. Because of that reason, this copper electrode becomes electron deficient. Because Cu plus 2 ions are capturing electrons. Because of that reason, this copper electrode is getting electron deficient. That's why we are showing the copper rod as positive sign. Next, anode is negative sign, cathode is positive sign. Here, because of accumulation of electrons, here we are showing a negative sign. Here, because of electron deficient, because Cu plus 2 ions are capturing electrons. That's why it is becoming electron deficient. That's why we are showing a positive sign. Next. And here, due to oxidation and due to reduction, electrons are traveling, nothing but current is producing. Here, oxidation and reduction both are taking place simultaneously, means in the Daniell cell, a redox reaction is taking place. Up to here. Okay, next. Here, why salt bridge has arranged? What is the role of this salt bridge? Now we'll discuss. Here, suppose if a salt bridge is not there, what's the problem? What happens actually? We'll just see that. Suppose if a salt bridge is not there, what happens means, see, initially, before starting the process, we have taken 1 molar zinc sulfate solution. Means Zn plus 2 concentration will be 1 molar, as well as SO4 minus 2 concentration also 1 molar only. Initially, both ions concentration remains the same. Here also, initially, Cu plus 2 concentration is 1 molar, as well as sulfate ion concentration is also 1 molar only, initially, before starting the process. Now, during the course of reaction, what happened? Zn converted to Zn plus 2. Zn converted to Zn plus 2 means, definitely, here Zn plus 2 concentration will be increasing. Zn plus 2 concentration increases where? In the first half cell. And come here, in the second half cell, what happens? All Cu plus 2 ions by capturing electrons converted as copper and it is going and depositing here. Means Cu plus 2 concentration is decreasing, but SO4 minus ions concentration of course remains the same. But when we are comparing to each other, positive, when we are comparing with a positive charge, negatively charged particles are definitely more. Means in the first half cell, plus ions are accumulating like this. In the first half cell, plus, all excess Zn plus 2 ions will be accumulating or surrounding the zinc rod. In the second half cell, excess minus ions, because comparing with the Cu plus 2, SO4 minus 2 ions are more. Those minus ions are accumulating, surrounding the copper rod. Means here, positively charged ions are accumulating, here negatively charged ions are accumulating. Then what is the problem? What happens actually? See here. These excess plus ions, excess positively charged ions will not allow these electrons to go from the wire. Means here plus and electrons are minus. These plus ions are attracting the electrons. Because of that reason, these electrons will not travel through the wire. Means electrons will not move through the wire. Come here. Here what happens? What is the problem? Means suppose if any electron is coming, suppose those electrons are not allowed by excess of minus ions, because electron is negatively charged and here minus ions means there is also negative charge of course. Between negative and negative, some repulsive forces will be there. That's why this excess minus ions will not allow these electrons to come into the second half cell. Means here excess plus ions are not allowing to go. Here excess minus ions are not allowing to come the electrons. That's why electrons movement will be stopped. Means this Daniell cell will work only fraction of minutes. After some time, your oxidation process has stopped, your reduction process has stopped. Why? Because your excess of plus ions are accumulating, here excess of minus ions are accumulating. These excess plus ions and these excess minus ions are not allowing these electrons to travel. If electrons are not traveling, means that there is no any current production there. To overcome this problem, to overcome this accumulation problem, we have arranged one salt bridge. Now what is salt bridge? What is the role of salt bridge? Just we'll see now. Salt bridge is of course a U-shaped glass tube. It is a U-shaped glass tube. And in that U-shaped glass tube, we have to fill some particular electrolytes, like we have to use of course inert. Why we have to use inert? That we'll discuss later of course. Inert electrolytes like KCl or KNO3 or ammonium nitrate. Like any one electrolyte, we have to fill in this U-shaped glass tube. But the thing is, we are filling electrolytes. Means we are arranging this glass tube in the inverted arrangement is there, so that liquid will come out. If liquid is coming out, there is no any reaction takes place in this process. That's why, to prevent that one, along with this KCl or along with this KNO3 or along with this ammonium nitrate, anyone we can use. Along with that, we have to fill some gum type, that is a gel type material also we have to fill, that is called as agar gel also we have to fill along with KCl. What agar gel is doing means this agar gel will keep this electrolyte in semi-solid phase, like paste type it will keep, right? And the ends of this salt bridge also we have to pack with some porous material, like that is a wool, a glass wool or cotton we have to arrange here, right? Now what this salt bridge will do? See here, suppose we have filled KCl solution. Here what happened in the first half cell, plus ions are accumulated here, excess plus ions are there, and in the second half cell excess minus ions are there, and this KCl solution is splitting, of course it is a ionic compound, is splitting into K plus and Cl minus ions, and those Cl minus ions are diffusing through the salt bridge and they will come into the first half cell and they will nullify excess plus ions. Cl minus ions will diffuse through the salt bridge and they will nullify excess of plus ions. At the same time, K plus ions also diffusing through the salt bridge and they will come and they will nullify excess minus ions. Minus ions are coming into the first half cell, plus ions are coming into the second half cell. These minus ions will nullify excess plus ions and these plus ions are nullifying excess minus ions in the second half cell. Means in both the half cells electrical neutrality will be maintained. Once electrical neutrality has maintained, then here oxidation takes place easily and reduction also taking place easily, means electrons flowing takes place continuously without any objections. Right. Now we'll discuss about a detailed manner about this salt bridge. What is the main role of salt bridge? We'll just see that. Function of salt bridge or role of salt bridge. Right. First role already known to you. What salt bridge is doing? It is maintaining electrical neutrality in both the half cells. Here excess plus ions are nullified, here excess minus ions are nullified. Okay, because of salt bridge only. It is maintaining electrical neutrality in both the half cells. That is the first function, of course, first role of salt bridge. Next is second one. Second one is, it is a complete, it is outside, it is the outer circuit, it is internal circuit. Means the salt bridge is completing internal circuit of the Daniell cell. Salt bridge is completing internal circuit of our Daniell cell. And third point is important point is, this salt bridge will prevent liquid junction potential. This salt bridge will prevent liquid junction potential. Now we'll see what is liquid junction potential. Once again, we'll have total three important points are there regarding salt bridge. First point is it is maintaining electrical neutrality in both the half cells. Second one is it is completing internal circuit of the ideal cell. And third one is it prevents liquid-liquid junction potential. Now I'll explain about what is liquid-liquid junction potential. See here. Here, as far as Daniell cell is concerned, we have taken two different cells. In some cells, it may be only one compartment. Like if you take any battery, it may have only one compartment. If it is having only one compartment, see here what happens. I have just separated with some porous material. Already known to you, left side plus ions are accumulating. That's why all plus ions are accumulating like this. Left side. And right side minus ions are accumulating. All minus ions are accumulating like this. Right. And here we are having electrical double layer. Because of this electrical double layer, here some potential develops. Okay, now because of electrical double layer, some potential develops. And this potential will be called as liquid-liquid junction potential. If a liquid-liquid junction potential develops, what happens? What is the problem? Means, here in the left side already known to you, we have arranged an anode. Right side we have arranged a cathode. That is anode. Anode is already known to you, negatively charged electrode. Cathode is positively charged electrode. Now, this liquid-liquid junction potential, what happens? What is the problem with that junction potential? Means this liquid-liquid junction potential will reduce actual cell potential. Why? Here the signs are different because here left side electrode is negatively charged, but here positive charge is developing. It is a negative charge, it is positive charge. Here it is positive charge, it is negative charge. Means this liquid-liquid junction potential will reduce actual cell potential. That's why our salt bridge is reducing, or salt bridge is minimizing this liquid-liquid junction potential. Why? Because of the salt bridge only here plus ions are not accumulating, and because of salt bridge only here minus ions also not accumulating. Means our salt bridge is preventing liquid-liquid junction potential. That's it. Next, condition to the electrolyte. Conditions. Means here we have filled a specific like KCl, KNO3, ammonium nitrate, like a specific electrolytes only we have filled. And that too, inert electrolytes we have filled. Here are two things. Why inert electrolyte we have to use, and other one is why specifically these electrolytes only we have to fill. We'll see that. First point, inert electrolytes. Whatever the electrolyte we have filled, that should be inert. Inert means that electrolyte should not react with any of the solution. That electrolyte should not react with any of the solution. Then generally you will get some doubts. That is, here excess of Zn+2 ions are there, and Cl- is coming here. Cl- is coming here. That's why this Cl- and Zn+2 are reacting. Zn+2 and Cl- are reacting and converted to ZnCl2. Means here reaction is taking place. What we have mentioned here, that electrolyte should not react with any other substance, but here seems to be Cl- ions are coming and reacting with the Zn+2. Here Zn+2, Cl- both are reacted, zinc chloride has formed, but this zinc chloride is highly soluble and immediately it is splitting into Zn+2 and of course Cl-. Means whatever the oxidation state of Cl- is there, same oxidation state is maintaining here. Means neither losing electrons nor gaining electrons. That's why we cannot say it is participating in the reaction. Okay, Cl- ion is not participating in the reaction. That's why inert means that electrolyte should not react with any of the substance. First point. Second point. Why particularly KCl and KNO3 ammonium nitrate only has filled in this salt bridge? Means here KCl if you take, we are having a K+ ion and Cl- ions. Both cation and anions mobility should be same. Mobility, that is the velocity, should be same. Then how much speed Cl- is having, same speed K+ also should be there. Both should travel with equal speed, and at the same time both should have same transport number. If a velocity is the same, then their transport number also will be same only. These are the conditions for that is the electrolyte what we have taken in the salt literature. Okay, thank you. Now this is the first video. In the next video we'll continue remaining topic. Thank you. Bye.